Hello, friends, crypto enthusiasts, DeFi degenerates. My name is Charles, and you're watching Blockbytes Sized, a series where we break down DeFi topics in 5 minutes or less. Hopefully. Okay, so today we're talking about boosted pools, balancer, and Beethoven technology. They are really, really freaking cool. And I just want to preface it by talking about automated market makers and liquidity pools, just so we can get a better understanding of why boosted pools would exist in the first place. So, automated market makers utilize giant pools of assets that allow users to swap one asset for another. So, you've got this big pool of capital, and trades are executed against the pool. Generally, as the pool increases in size, slippage decreases. So, put more simply, the larger the pool, the better the price a user will pay for their swap. This incentivizes very, very large liquidity pools. I think Uniswap's ETH USDC pool is like 300 million or something ridiculous. And that's great. Good for them. But unfortunately, most of the trades that are executed on a daily or even monthly basis are infinitesimal in size compared to the size of the pool. And the result of this is idle liquidity sitting in this pool, waiting for some sea creature to come along and make a $50 million trade. And that rarely, if ever, happens. So you've got this massive pool of liquidity where 90% of it isn't being used to facilitate trades. The front 10% is, allowing users to execute their swaps. But there's 90% of this huge pool of liquidity that is not being used. It's sitting there supporting the pool and doing nothing, essentially. This is horribly inefficient. And it is the reason why AMMs are often referred to as lazy markets. It's also where boosted pools come in. So boosted pools are a solution to this capital inefficiency. How do they work? They redirect the idle liquidity to other protocols, like lending protocols, yields aggregators, to incorporate yield-bearing assets into their pools. This generates more yield for the liquidity providers who are contributing to the pool, and it's a sustainable yield as well. So let's take an example. Imagine there is a 50-50 Phantom USDC pool. You have Phantom, you have USDC, you're putting an equal amount of both into the pool. Pre-boosted pools, your Phantom and USDC would sit there. You'd earn some trading fees. Maybe you'd get some other rewards, emissions or whatnot. But 90% of the Phantom and the USDC sitting in the pool would just be there doing nothing. Boosted pools will send that USDC, for example, off to a Yearn vault to be deposited. They deposit it in Yearn's vault. What they receive is YV USDC, Yearn Vault USDC. Similarly, the Phantom might be sent to a lending market, Granary or whatnot, and your USDC and your Phantom have now been transformed into their yield-bearing versions. Boosted pools have these nested pools of all these yield-bearing tokens that are funneling that yield back into the liquidity providers that provide them, while also maintaining enough liquidity for traders to be able to execute trades with low slippage and get good prices on them. Someone just came in the door. Nice. So think about, before boosted pools existed, you'd have your Phantom, you'd have your USDC, you'd have to make some decisions on, if you wanted to get some yield on them, maybe You take your USDC, you deposit it onto Reaper, the yield aggregator. You get some yield there. You lend your Phantom out on some lending protocol, Granary perhaps, and you get some yield in return. Or you could combine your USDC and your Phantom. You go, I want to enter a pool. I want to get some trading fees. Excuse me. I want to get some trading fees, maybe some incentives. Boosted pools can kill those two birds with one stone. Now you can enter a boosted pool, combine your USDC and your Phantom, get trading fees, while also taking advantage of their yield-bearing versions via the pool. Your Phantom, your USDC can be deposited on other protocols while simultaneously earning you trading fees. It's absolutely fascinating. It's so cool, and I definitely went over 5 minutes. I wish there was more time to talk about it. It takes so long to describe how they work. It's very complicated. I would love to have a prolonged discussion with any one of you. If you want to know more about boosted pools, you should definitely check out the link below. There are some resources down there, and please look into it yourself because I haven't even scratched the surface of what is possible. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.